So today I found an ISO for Windows 98 upgrade, and I thought it'd be fun to install Windows 95 on top of DOS 7.1 inside VirtualBox. So the first thing we're going to do is set up our new virtual machine. We'll just call it Windows 95. There is a sweet spot of memory really for Windows 95, and it's about 256 meg, or really anything under 512, but I'll say a bit more about that soon. In the meantime, we can create our VDI disk image, dynamically allocate up to 2 gig in size, and there we go. Now we can get our ISOs from this website here, winworldpc.com, and we are looking for our Windows 95 OSR2 OEM ISO. It's very important we get the ISO file, and we have the serial key for it here. That will take us through to this page, and the Naveen mirror is absolutely fine. We've also got a SHA-SUM here with which we can check the integrity of the file once it's downloaded. This will also give us a 7.1 ISO, so Google and a bit of research is your friend there. Now in our Windows 95, we're just going to go to settings, and first of all in storage, we're going to set our secondary IDE master to our DOS 7.1 ISO and start the machine. And we can hit enter to begin the install procedure. All default options are okay here. There we go. That's created our partition, and now we can reboot. We're going to press enter to run the setup again, and this will actually fully install it. Again, default options are fine. We don't really need to worry so much about any of these at all. I'm just going to uncheck add-ons to make it a bit easier. We're going to install Access DOS. We can click OK. There we are. And we can show yes, change that to yes. Yes again, and enable both UMB and EMS memory. Here I'm going to load both. Again, skip some extras. Go straight through to continue, enter, reboot, and there we are. Okay, so DOS 7.1 is a go. What we can now do is just in storage again, we're going to change this DOS ISO here over to our Windows 95B ISO. We're going to hit OK, go back in here, and then we're just going to power off this machine. And power back on again, only this time with our Windows 95 ISO as the source image. So here we go, we can press any key here. And now we're in DOS, which is excellent. So we're going to go to D, just to check the contents of our CD, just to list it with a quick dir command. And of course we are going for the setup.exe within D. So there we go, and we can hit enter to continue. And again, default options are all fine here. Okay, and over to our CD key. So 24976, no, 796 0014 736 66386. We're not going to worry about the network adapter or the sound or capture cards. And it does say the install will take 30 to 60 minutes, but that is based on a 4 megabyte RAM, 15 megahertz machine. This one's obviously going to do it quite a lot quicker. So the whole thing should take under 7 or 8 minutes, including the 7.1 and including the Windows 95 setup. and install common components, but we're not going to want a startup disk, mostly because we don't have a floppy drive, but also because it's completely pointless. We're just going to hit yes to keep these files, and then we can restart. There we go. I'm just going to free up my keyboard and mouse so we can have a quick look at this. Now there is a Windows protection error here, and you're going to get this. All we have to do is power off the machine and go into settings, and in system, under acceleration, we need to untick the enable VTX AMD-v. If that is ticked, you will get that Windows protection error. Now, I did start doing this video on my MacBook, but changing this option within VBox on a Mac is far more complicated. It's not just as simple as unticking a box, because the option isn't even there. So it's just much easier to do it on the Windows machine. Now, if we start that, we won't have that error. But one thing I will show you quickly is in system, we're going to bump this right up to a gig, and we're going to turn it on. Okay, so that goes through absolutely fine. We can press any key to continue here because it just won't work. If we look at that error message again, there we go, we have insufficient memory to initialize Windows. Now, although that sounds completely insane because we've just given it a gig of memory, the fact is that even with a 2 gig limit for Windows 95 and Windows 98, there is still a bug with the vcache, which basically means that anything over 512 meg is going to get very, very buggy. Personally, I've found the sweet spot is 256 meg. So all I need now is a time machine to go back 22 years and tell myself that. We can get rid of this and just wait for it to boot through. We still have the Windows 95 ISO inserted in our virtual optical drive, but it may ask us to reinstall or reinsert something, and there's nothing really we can do there. Here we have to specify a work group to continue, and here we go. It's not accepting anything we have, so we can just close this and the install will continue. I think Tijuana will be a perfectly acceptable time zone, seeing as we don't really care about this machine anyway, and we do not need a printer. So there we go, we're okay to reboot, and we're going to reboot into our system. We're going to get this error on first boot, and there are quite a few files. We can just keep pressing any key to get through this, and after about 10-20 seconds of waiting at this vnetbios.vxd, we are going to get back into the system again. When I have some more time, I'm going to try to do a bit more troubleshooting and diagnostics on these errors, these files, and exactly what they mean. But to be honest with you, it's really the most unimportant thing. And we can just clear this. Okay, so we have a Windows tour and we have a what's new. Here we are with our desktop. Now if we have a quick look in what's new, you can see this is really quite hilarious. If we go for the Windows tour, we should see the plane. Look at that. Absolutely incredible. So here we have Windows 95. It's ready to start using. I use the word use very, very loosely, but it should at least be some fun. In the next video, I'm going to do the Win98 upgrade, but I might also try to install 3.1 just for jokes.